So I got early access to Illuga and took him from 0 what? To hero. Boom. 60k. Boom. 90. Being a Geo support character, you might think that there isn't much to build him as, but in this video, I'll be testing the limits of Illuga to see how well he can perform not only as a support, but also his DPS capabilities as well. So to help me do this challenge, I've set a few goals that I'm hoping to achieve within the 10-hour time span. First, I will have to deal 100,000 damage with Illuga as a DPS. This might not seem difficult as any character can be built as a plunge DPS, so to make it more challenging, I can only do it with Geo damage. This means I'll be forced to actually trial a few teams to see if this is possible. My second goal is to defeat a local legend with Illuga. There are a lot of them spread throughout Teyvat, so this should be interesting. Keep in mind that all of the testing done was on the Luna 4 test server and does not reflect the final version, so please refer to the official release for the final content. So without further ado, here's how I took Illuga from 0 to hero in 10 hours. Starting out the first hour of my challenge, I took less time to get used to Illuga's skills, while also seeing what I had to work with. From my initial impressions, I knew this challenge was going to be tough. He's a Geo character with polearm. His animations look pretty good. Charge attacks are pretty standard as well, but I really enjoy his designs, because I think his designs are like the most unique so far for Genshin. And yeah, let's just see what he can do. Let me just infiltrate, I believe, treasure hoarders, and hopefully they don't attack me. Oh, they already saw me? Wow, I didn't even do anything. Okay, let me just use his elemental skills. He can aim pretty far away, actually. Wow. I just aim at this one. What? I wasn't ready yet. I feel like by now, it can't be a Voltyea video without my level 1 characters like dying in the beginning. But hey, let's just try this again. Let me aim at this treasure hoarder. I don't know when he even made his way on the top. But yeah, it seems like he's generating like around 4 Geo particles at the same time, which is okay. Ow, I keep dying, no! So what have I learned? The first 2 minutes, I need some external help. Okay, so I got Goro on my team. Hopefully, I will be able to get my burst up at least, because I want to see his burst. I want to see what he can do. Okay, his burst is up. Let me just see what his burst does. Animation-wise as well. Okay, so he just basically push enemies back. I can see a ring on him. I believe this is probably like some kind of buff. So far, his animations are pretty good. Yeah, just start building him and see what he can do. Oh, okay. So right now, I'm using the Favonius Lance. I can also try out Dragon's Bane. I think the 2 best weapons for him are probably just Favonius and Dragon's Bane. So let's just use Favonius Lance first. And we can also try out other weapons as well when we build him as a DPS. For artifacts, I believe the best set you want to use is just the Silken Moon. And I'll just be giving him stuff with Elemental Mastery as a substat, since he also skills by that. Defense is good, and also energy. Auto crit rate will be a bonus since I'm using Favonius right now. So see if we can find anything with crit rate. So let's see what his stats look like right now. 39% crit rate and 91 crit damage with 212 energy. The first thing I wanted to try with Illuga is to confirm whether or not he can enable the lunar crystallized reactions by himself. Okay, first we gotta wet the enemies.
Huh?
Good, and then Geo. Okay. So I'm seeing we just get normal crystallize. So yeah, unfortunately, Illuga doesn't enable lunar crystallize. Even with Ascendant Gleam, I'll probably be building him as a DPS first to see how much damage I can buff him. Hopefully with over 50k. And I want to see what his highest Geo damage can be as well. So first, let's just start leveling him up. Okay, so I'll just stop here at level 40. As for his weapons, I kind of want to switch to a different one. Since his skill and burst damage, both skills of Elemental Mastery, I'm curious to see how much Dragon's Bane will be able to do. Oh, I spy 2 Helicho brothers over there. Let me just ambush them. Crit! Oh, 4,000. Alright. With my talent level at level 1, I think this is pretty good. Not complaining. I spent the rest of the hour mostly testing out Illuga's damage potential. 10k, nice. So in less than 30 minutes, we're able to hit our first 5-digit number. It'll be interesting to see if we can hit 6 digits for sure. To finish off the first hour, I tried Illuga with Columbina next, who enables Lunar Crystallize for my team. However, I discovered one glaring problem with his team comp. With barely any geo attacks, this probably isn't the best showcase, since my Lunar Crystallize basically expires by the time I get my elemental skill back. If I can do initial Lunar Crystallize hits for like around 10k, 67k. Wow, okay. Thankfully, Columbina makes up for it by allowing Lunar Crystallize to proc herself. With another Geo character, I can definitely see like more potential here. So with the first hour done, I definitely learned a good amount. I think it opens up a lot of potential teams for Geo, so I'm excited to try out more characters as well for this. To start my second hour, I brought Noelle into the fray. I tested out my damage against one of the Nocry bosses, where soon after, I got my first 6-digit damage. And there it is, 100k damage already. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good team. Since the damage wasn't directly dealt by Illuga, this wasn't counted for my goal. But with Noelle's Lunar Crystallized team, she's able to both shield and heal while doing damage. So this was a pretty fun team to experiment with. Okay, with the next ascension, he finally broke 900 elemental mastery. And it's still gonna go up from here. Talent-wise, you can also finally raise a bit as well to at least level 4, which is good. Finally, I tried out a scuffed Lunar Crystallized team by slotting Zibai to my team. Well, I hope you don't mind, but I'm about to test out a pretty obscure Lunar Crystallized team. I'm using Zibai to be here and sit quietly while I can be able to trigger Lunar Crystallize. So yeah, let's see how this will work. Basically, Albedo, my Mona is here also, I guess, to look pretty because she isn't really gonna do much. Albedo is here for the Hexerite buff with Mona, and let's see how much Lunar Crystallize can trigger with his team. Oh, I see like the Lunar Crystallize is shooting out pebbles, so there's that. And I did 30k damage. Since Zibai was there only to enable Lunar Crystallize, the damage was a bit low, but it was still an interesting experiment. Okay, I'm just now unlocking another talent. I wonder how much more power-ups I can get. So he's at level 70 now. I just want to test out my damage. 18k with E? Okay, let's see his burst damage now then. I'm having very high hopes for him. Do this. Auto skill burst. Burst? No, I didn't crit, but I already hit 14k without crits. Alright, burst. 37k, nice. Pretty happy. Less than 2 hours mark, I already hit 37k, which is closer to my goal, for sure. So right now, we're essentially 2/10 of the way there, and let's have some fun with a physical Illuga build. With this team, I can actually just easily hit 10k already with my normal attacks, which is pretty good, actually. Yeah, my team looks pretty good with my burst coming back very quickly as well. Wow, okay. Interesting enemies. I don't think these systems have that much resistance. So, yeah, 10k pretty easily. So this is probably not going to be the fastest, but I want to see if I can get my goal. I want to see if I can get one of my goals out of the way. I think defense-wise, Mika as a healer should be enough against the Rocky local legend. But yeah, I want to see how far I can take my physical team. I also tried my hands on a local legend. But Rocky was unfortunately still out of reach for me since Illuga kept on getting one-shotted after Rocky unleashes his low HP combos on me. So we'll have to get revenge another time. Well, that was a good try, but I got punched to oblivion. Anyways, let's get him to level 90 now. So we're gonna go back to a support build and just test him out with a special guest. So my Zibai is at level 1. My weapon is a Harbinger of Dawn, a pretty good free-to-play option for her, and Artifact is just Unveiling set. So yeah, it's a pretty simple build. Talent, of course, level 1 each. Okay, I found a better boss to test my damage out with because this space is raining, and Mako Kengi, at least he's close to spawn. So let's see what Zibai can do here. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of Lunar Crystallized damage already. But I'm seeing 20k, okay. Not bad. Not bad. I I was able to hit around 28k damage already with my level 1 Zibai, but since my team wasn't fully built yet, I struggled against Mago Kenki. One weakness I've been noticing about Lunar Crystallize is that fighting bosses that move around a lot makes it tricky to trigger the reaction. So I'll definitely need to figure out how to combat this going forward. Next, I raised Illuga's talents to level 9, and with Illuga finally built, I started to experiment with even more unique Lunar Crystallize teams, starting with Ningguang. I'm seeing a lot of Geo damage. I see a 96k Lunar Crystallize as well. Wow, okay. Pretty impressive. Let's see if we'll be able to one-shot Signora weekly boss with Ningguang's Lunar Crystallize kind of team. Oh, where did the boss go? Behind us. I'm burning up right now. But hopefully we're fine. See some Lunar Crystallize damage here and there. With Columbina activating Lunar Crystallize for this team, I was able to deal a great amount of damage against Signora. And although I wasn't able to one-shot her, it was still pretty impressive. So I spent the rest of hour 4 testing out my damage with Lunar Crystallize in a variety of different teams. Noelle was pretty fun, as she could be a healer, shielder, and a DPS all in one, and her damage was no slouch either. I even built and tested out a Lunar Crystallize Kachina team, and saw the team dealt a nice chunk of Lunar Crystallize reaction damage. Kachina worked especially well in Natlan since she had Phlogiston, which makes her skill last even longer. Sometimes you just wanna like jump around just like the boss, and eventually you'll be able to outbounce him, I guess. With the challenge nearly halfway over, I wanted to finish my goal with DPS Illuga and hopefully deal my 100k Geo damage with him. Since I also haven't defeated Rocky just yet, this will be the perfect opportunity to get my revenge once and for all, while also completing my second goal of this challenge. I'm going to be experimenting weapons out, so I'm going to use the Staff of the Scarlet Sands, which is the Sino signature weapon with a lot of crit rate. This weapon is good because it gives both attack and some elemental mastery. Artifact I swapped to a 2-piece Archaic for Geo bonus and also a 2-piece Unveiling set for the elemental mastery. And talents are 999 as you know. Still at C0, so yeah. Hopefully he does like at least 50k Geo damage is what I'm hoping for. Alright. Just see how much damage you can do. 42 and 73k. Wow. Okay. So if we add that up together, it's 100k. But we still haven't seen the 6-digit magic number yet. Alright, let's just try this again. 39k? 73k. Okay, yeah. So basically 40 plus 73k is like 110k or something damage. So in order to hit my 100k Geo damage, I have a plan. So I went into the Spiral Abyss and went to challenge floor 7. Because this floor gives an extra 120% crit damage, let's see how this plays out. Boom! 60k? Boom! 90, still 96k! Okay, there's only 3 enemies, so I gotta watch out. Okay, Goro, nice. Don't kill the enemies, please. Thank you. First, 110k, okay. So yeah, even though I had to rely on the Abyss buffs, I was ultimately able to complete our first goal. I think it finally might be time. So do you remember this guy? Yeah, we're about to punch him with some Geo attacks and see how long he'll last. Hopefully I can do like at least 50k. Okay. I didn't crit with my burst, but yeah. We're gonna just keep doing this until he falls. One of us fall at least. This whole Rocky fight is like an endurance fight, since Illuga's skill cooldown was kind of long. But something about just doing high Geo damage with Illuga was so satisfying that it was worth it in the end, since I was able to finally defeat Rocky and also get my revenge. To finish my 5th hour, I went to fight the Scaramouche weekly to see if I can get a cool snapshot damage. That was definitely a pain, but this is the ultimate test now, finally. To see if I can do even more damage. Hopefully I just crit though. Skill? Did I miss a skill? I didn't crit. 85% chance, by the way. Yeah, the most unfortunate thing happened, and I didn't want to try this again, so I just left the domain. During hours 6 and 7, I tried out Illuga DPS again, but with a twist. With the right support, I was able to make Illuga both a Pyro and a Cryo DPS respectively, and it was a lot of fun. So typically, if you want to make someone a DPS, you can always just make them a Plunge, Melt, Infused Damage Dealer. So this is exactly what I'm going to be trying against the Primogems Bishop. So we should just do this. First, skill, then burst, then we start jumping, right? 170k, yeah. Pretty nice damage overall. I'm happy. Can almost get my burst back up as well. Alright, it's back again. So just do this. Should be enough damage for the boss kill. Yeah. I mean, this team is pretty fun in general. 230k? Wow. No, he's turning back into the ball again. Oh well. I had my fun though. For Cryo DPS Illuga, it was a bit more difficult finding the correct team comp. And the rotation I did was pretty scuffed. But eventually, I was still able to defeat a boss with a Cryo DPS build. Fast track to hour 8, I finally had Zibai build, which means that I can also put Illuga back on the support build to see how well he's able to buff Lunar Crystallize. So I'm currently back on the support build for Illuga, and we're just gonna see with how well he performs with Zibai now that she's at level 90. And yeah, I'm using a pretty free-to-play build for her as well. The Flute of the Espizol, and also just a pretty standard build. I just want to see if I'm strong enough to actually take on a local legend immediately though. With Illuga at C0 still, and a pretty free-to-play build for Zibai, let me just see how much damage she'll be able to do. With Illuga's buffs and everything. Okay, I think I saw 200k there. 250? Whoa. This is a local legend, right? Not just a random ruined drake that I found on the streets. That's actually insane. I'm only C0 as well. Could you imagine, like, with more constellations? This boss also has Geo resistance as well. Like, it sucks away my elemental powers and use that as resistance. But without the resistance, so I was doing like 200k easily. But I don't have a different element, so I can't really, like, let the local legend absorb another, like, element. But I would say this is good enough. Okay, so right now I'm going to be preparing Illuga for the Spiral Abyss. So I'm probably going to be using more of a DPS build because I want to do floor 11 as a DPS Illuga, and then floor 12 probably more of a supportive role. So yeah, I guess I'll just give him the Staff of the Scarlet Sands again, since this is probably his best DPS weapon. I'm not sure if there's anything else that's better, but this is from what I've tested, probably his best. So for the Geo team, I'm going to go back to the basics again. I skill 80k plus 40k. Nice. I mean, I'm happy with this damage. Although not quite 100k yet with one hit. I think it's still pretty good with this, since I didn't even think that he could do this much initially when I first started. So, alright, let's try this again. Skill 49k and burst 85. Yeah. The main problem with this build is just like his high cooldown. And his skills have very, very high cooldown, so it's pretty hard to like actually do consistent damage because of it. 6 opponents? Okay. Well, I think Geo is good here, supposedly. 53k. Alright, burst. 84. Funny enough, with a Geo Illuga build, it consists of mostly just using skills and burst off cooldown, and then rinse and repeat. But the damage was nice to see. This team was able to get all the stars in floor 11, so overall I was satisfied. So yeah, that's floor 11. We're actually able to beat it with DPS Illuga, and now we can move on to floor 12. So for floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss, I think it might be time to actually activate C2, since C2 will be able to gain a good amount of damage with Lunar Crystallized reactions. We'll see how much this will be able to buff Zibai as well. Okay, so we have a boss to fight. Damage-wise, between 200k. Not bad. Especially with the banner team. 170k. Alright. So we just basically rinse and repeat. Do the rotation over again, and yeah. I think this team is pretty simple to play as well. Zibai as well being very easy to do big damage on. It's always a nice plus. One thing I really like about her though is that she doesn't really rely on burst as well to do damage. Let's finish the boss off of the horse. Some Wild Hunt enemy it seems. Don't think they can stop my Illuga buffing Zibai kind of team. Or I guess Lunar Crystallize. This team can also just hit the second part of the Wild Hunt enemy's HP, since I'm also Ascending Gleam as well with Illuga and of course Zibai. Let's use Goro to hopefully heal a little bit back up. It's looking like it's pretty much over. Yeah. I think so far the only weakness in this particular team is the lack of heals. Goro does heal a little bit, especially if you have his C4. But you still gotta watch out not to take that much damage. The shields are actually getting destroyed by all my attacks as well, so I don't really think there's anything else that the boss can do. 330k. Nice. Oh, I didn't crit, but still got the job done. And that's how you clear the abyss, I guess. Well, with only like around 10 minutes left, let's just go fight this four-legged monster who has a very, very long name. I'm using like Zibai's premium team. Alright, this is also fearless, so gotta deal with the boss as well. But hopefully I have enough skills and everything to destroy the shield before the boss charges up. Nice. Zibai definitely helps a lot as well in here. Still have 8 minutes left before our time is up. So at least let us clear this one. Any time now, the boss is probably gonna go back to the middle again. Let me just do as much damage as possible before Lin. It should be good. It's going back over there. That's fine. And that should be it. So with the 10-hour challenge finished, I was able to experience everything when it comes to Illuga. I first struggled with building him as a DPS since his cooldowns were really high. But eventually, I was able to break through and hit 100k damage. Building him as a DPS with different elements was also great, as you'd love to see support characters being able to dish out insane amounts of damage. Illuga's support capabilities were also pretty nice, especially in Lunar Crystallized teams. Being able to work not just with Zibai, but other Geo characters was also a plus. What teams are you personally trying out with Illuga? Let me and the others know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more content like these, and check out this next one where I main Zibai for 7 days here, and I'll see you later.